Hello everyone, it's the Artsy Artist, and today I'm going to be making my very first Polymer clay tutorial. Today's tutorial is going to be on two Polymer clay little cookie charms. One is a sugar cookie. Let me zoom in. One is a sugar cookie with chocolate sauce and tiny micro marbles, clear ones to look like sugar. And this strawberry one also has the same. And this is a strawberry cookie with purple icing. And you could say that the white things on top would be coconut or white chocolate chips. But I just thought they were white chocolate chips, but you could debate over those two. Or you could just use regular cocoa chocolate chips. So for this tutorial, the materials you will need is some beige or Ecru clay. I'm using Sculpey, but you could use any tan clay. I have this kind of like egg white look white, so I mixed some beige with some white to get this like macadamia nut kind of chocolate chip look. And you will need some balled up tin foil to make the texture, as well as a piece of sandpaper. Now I try to use the simplest materials as possible to make it easy for you guys to make. You will also need an eye pin for the end to stick it in if you'd like to make it a charm, or it can just be a miniature. And some kind of like cutting tool, like here's a small slicing like razor blade or a Polymer clay tool, or you could just use a knife for this. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make the cookie base first. So this. And then I don't want you guys to wait for me to bake it and everything, so that's why this one's already pre-baked so I could ice it. And so I'm going to show you how to make the cookie base, and then we're going to move on to the icing. Okay, so I'm going to take a piece of my clay. Now I want to get it kind of to the exact measurement of my other cookies. So I'm going to see, I think this is too much actually. I'm going to see how this is going to do. So I'm going to shape it to the consistency I want and roll it into a ball. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so now that you have your little ball of Polymer clay, let me zoom into the camera. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pat it down like so to make your cookie shape. Okay, so once you have your desired cookie shape, you want to take your other cookie and see if it kind of matches up with the same size, and mine pretty much does. So what I want to do now is if you have the flatness that you want to take your little, actually let's do the sandpaper first, and you want to pat it down like so to get a nice texture. Sorry about all the movements with the camera, just trying to make it look good for you guys. Okay, so once you've done enough, you think, with the sandpaper, just go ahead and take your tinfoil ball and just kind of go over it very lightly, because you don't want it to look too much like bread, just like a cookie. Okay, and now just take your sandpaper and go back over it to kind of make it a little more pushed down, not too textured, because then it looks overdone. Okay, now once you have your cookie, take your eye pin, and once your desired texture is once your cookie is textured enough, just take, you need like wire cutters or something that looks like this, with the tip like this. And you want to take your eye pin and you want to snip it, because this, you don't want it to stick out the bottom, you want it to look like it's short enough. So just cut it at the length that you think it won't go through the bottom of your cookie, and cut it. It's pretty simple. At first I didn't think so, but it is. So then just stick it in the side of your cookie, and make sure it doesn't go through the back either, or that doesn't look too good. But sometimes it happens, so it's okay if it does. Okay, so once you have it like this, so I'm using Sculpey. So for Sculpey, you want to bake at 275 for 15 minutes per like 6 millimeters. So what I did for this cookie is I baked it at 275 for about 10 minutes. I'm not sure if that was enough or not, but I think it is. So you can bake accordingly to the instructions or accordingly to whatever clay you are using. Just look on the package and they usually have it there. So now I have this already baked cookie, and we're going to show you how to do the icing now. So for this icing, you could use many. I used chocolate on this one and purple on the other one. But right now I'm going to be using, because I just got this new, it's true pink, so I'm going to be using strawberry icing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a little bit on the top of it, and then I'm going to spread it around with my toothpick that I have right here. Okay. So now just take your toothpick and kind of move it around into like a shape that you would ice a cookie. Okay, so my cookie is officially iced the way I would like it, and you could ice it as much as you want, just a little bit around the edges, or you could go full on. So I just iced basically around to the rim, so you could see it. And now what I want to do is, since you're making a cookie like this, if you have micro marbles, you could use them, but a lot of people don't, so I'm just going to go with the white chocolate chips on top. So take your white tannish clay, and let's move this to the side. Okay, and then we're going to now roll this out into like a little tiny snake, and we're going to chop it up for the coconut or white chocolate chips. Okay. Okay, so now I've had my tiny little snake here, and make sure it's tiny enough to look like chocolate chips on the cookie. And again, I had a really big ball of clay right here, but I only wanted a very tiny bit to make this. Like, I'm not even going to need all of this. Okay, so we're going to chop up this white piece of clay here and make it into little pieces. So I want about, like, there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces on my other cookie. So I'm going to make about the same, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop them up just in different kind of shapes as a chocolate chip would be, and we're going to place them on my cookie. Okay, so this is my cookie. Now it's all topped off with the white chocolate chips. And now what I should have done before I actually rolled this out is I should have rolled this out and chopped it up and then baked these little pieces, but just to save time for this tutorial, I didn't. But if you don't want the chocolate chips to be soft on top because they might get smushed, you might want to bake the chocolate chips before you put them on the icing. Now, this is Scribbles icing. It's like 3D paint, and you want to let this dry for about 4 hours after you put it on, depending on the amount you put it on. So you want to let this dry for about that time. So yeah, now you have a little cute cookie, and it's really fun to keep on remaking more of these. So now I have 3, and I hope you like this tutorial, and I'm going to be making many more in the future. And my upcoming videos, I'm going to be making a craft update, well, more of a clay charm update very soon, so stay tuned. Okay guys, thank you very much. Bye!